Salesforce, owns a YouTube channel with 57K plus subscribers, 8 million plus views and 1400 plus videos, guiding passionate content creators to build their own brand and promote them on their YouTube channel. To share his knowledge with us on OmniStudio, let us invite Sanjay Gupta.
Thank you, Palak. So, first of all, very warm welcome to everybody. And this is my first community event that I am attending, and that too as a speaker. So, before starting my session, this I do always, I just show my gratitude, because whatever I have done, I have never done it alone, right? So, first of all, I just want to thank India Dreamin for giving me this opportunity to showcase my skills live in a community event, right? Second, I want to thank Sierra Cloud, where I'm working as a learning and development manager, who supported me so that I came here and presenting this. Then I want to thank Abhishek, who is sitting in front of us. Me and he discussed lots of things about OmniStudio, and that's why I got the skill, and I'm here to present that in front of you. And after that, I want to thank my parents for all the blessings and my wife for unconditional support, right? And at the end, I want to dedicate this session to my younger brother, and his name is Gupta, and his friend Rohit Manethia. As Palak told you, I was associated with education industry for 10 years. After that, I decided to jump into IT so that I can gain knowledge of corporate, so that I can club education and corporate and fill that bridge that I'm doing with Sanjay Gupta Tech School, right? So I want to dedicate this, my first community session, to my younger brother Vikas and his friend Rohit Manethia. Because of those, I am in IT industry right now, right? So with this, now I just want to start my session. So today's session is based on OmniStudio. So with this session, you will be getting enough insight what OmniStudio is and why to pursue this architecture or this technology as a career as Salesforce consultant, right? So, and as Palak already told, I'm working as a manager in Sierra Cloud, and I have done 7 certifications. Whatever certification I have done, I have proper knowledge of those. I'm not running behind certification, I'm gaining knowledge and then doing the certifications, right? And apart from that, my identity, Sanjay Gupta Tech School, right now is on YouTube and Udemy, and soon it will become an M.Tech organization, which will be working for the benefit of the community at very low cost or maybe free of cost, right? So now let's thank our sponsors as well, because of those this event is not possible. So I just want to thank every sponsor who is associated with India Dreamin. Okay, now let's talk about something technical, right? So OmniStudio. So we'll be understanding the architecture of OmniStudio, what it is. So I will be discussing about different layers, features, and functionality. Those are available with OmniStudio. Okay, so when I will be talking about OmniStudio, so you can have Flow, Apex, and LWC in your mind, right? I will be comparing this tool with those 3 features. Okay, but before starting talking about OmniStudio, let's understand what is our customer expectation, right? So customer want anytime and anywhere access to company. Right? They need business. Whatever business they are doing, whatever company is doing business, and whoever is using that business, there should be total transparency, right? And that too will be available on internet through some application or website, right? Next, it should be available 24/7, right? 24/7, anytime, through any geography, anybody can access that application. And last is everything from any device. It can be mobile phone, it can be tab, or it can be desktop, right? So these are customer expectations now. to solve those customer expectations, what Salesforce is offering. So you might have heard about different clouds. So basically those clouds are categorized into two categories. So Salesforce initially created some clouds. Those are based on functionality. These are Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud. Right? These are very popular. Then Salesforce acquired a company which is known as Velocity. Velocity created lots of industry-specific clouds which are built on top of functionality-based clouds. Right? Those are known as industry-specific clouds. So Velocity, after acquisition, is known as Salesforce Industries. Right? It is known as Salesforce Industries. Now it is part of Salesforce. Okay? So we have lots of clouds. So we have Financial Services Cloud, Health Cloud, Government Cloud, Manufacturing Cloud, Consumer Goods, Communication, Media, Energy and Utilities. So it means Salesforce is targeting each and every industry. Those are available in the world. Right? And as I heard Kamal, so he was talking about Education Cloud. So they are targeting education industry and how huge education industry is in India. Right? So there are lots of opportunities available. You just need to think like how you can grab that. If you are not having any opportunity, so you just need to try how you can create that for you. Right? So you right now, like what people are doing, they are learning development. I would say after development, become a consultant. And how you can become a consultant? If you learn particular cloud. Nowadays, hiring is based on cloud specific, not development specific. Because we are moving from custom code to low code development, right? And now, what is new out there? So why I am talking about custom to low code development? Because we have something new that is available with Salesforce. So to drive more customer-centric transformation and digital engagement, Salesforce released a suite of configuration tools and services that provides guided user experience for all Salesforce customers, right? And we can say hello to OmniStudio. So OmniStudio is basically a low-code development tool. It is totally drag and drop tool. Right? Now you can think about Flow Builder. Right? So those who are working as a developer or learning something on Salesforce, so they might have worked upon Flow Builder. So Flow Builder is completely drag and drop tool, where we don't need to write any code and we can implement the solutions, right? Then we have Apex for custom implementation, where we can implement some logic like if, else, loop, we can apply exceptions, right? And after that we have LWC, through which we can create UI. So OmniStudio is one-stop solution for all those. You don't need to write any single line of code. You can create UI through drag and drop functionalities. You can implement business logic through drag and drop functionalities, and you can do deployment as well. For also, you don't need to do anything else, right? So we have these three layers with OmniStudio, and for OmniStudio we have a certification as well. So OmniStudio developer, OmniStudio consultant. Developer who is working in the backend, and consultant who is dealing with the client, right? So first layer is digital experience, which is somewhere related to screen flows and LWC, right? Screen flow and LWC we use to create UIs or maybe guided interaction. So we have two features here, flex cards, and second is OmniScripts, right? So there are lots of folks who are not related to IT background. If you want to, like if you are not from IT and still you want to jump into IT, so OmniStudio is perfect for you. You don't need to learn about coding, you just need to think logically, and you can just implement UIs through drag and drop functionalities, right? So this is first layer. Second is service management. So service management is the middle layer, which has two features, integration procedures, and second is data raptor, right? It is totally related to Apex. So you have Apex and SOQL. SOQL basically we use for querying the data, and then we have DML for data manipulation purpose. So here we have data raptors. So data raptor can replace SOQL and DML. Replace means you don't need to write SOQL queries, you don't need to write DML. whatever you want to do, you can simply perform through drag and drop functionalities, right? So if you are working on industry cloud, so Flow is not for that. You have to learn OmniStudio, right? And IP is replacement of Apex. You can write some logic, you can implement loops, you can apply exceptions, right? Through drag and drop functionality. And last is deployment. So deployment is also a headache. But in OmniStudio, we have two tools, IDX Build Tool and Workbench. Through that, you can simply, whatever you have implemented, you can drag and you can deploy to another environment, right? So now the question, you might be thinking, when we have Flow, so how OmniStudio is different? Flow is doing same. In Flow also we can implement business logics, we can have SOQLs, we can have DMLs, right? But can we reuse those DMLs, SOQLs or processes into another flow? No. If you are building a flow, it is a complete tool. But in OmniStudio, if you are building a data raptor, so it can be reused by any integration procedure. Everything is separated, right? So reusability is more here as compared to flow builder. That's why it is powerful. Okay. Now let's discuss first digital experience here. So as I already told you, it is a feature which helps you to create UI. So we have Flex Card. Flex Card will show you like to the point data, right? And if we go further, so this kind of UI you can create through Flex Card. So a simple component where you have textual information, you have some buttons. If you click, certain operations can perform. So this is basically Flex Card. If I go back, second is OmniScript. So OmniScript is a guided path to complete a business process. It is similar to ScreenFlow. In ScreenFlow, we have different screens, and we receive some data from user, and basis on that received data, we perform some business logic at the backend, and we do either SOQL or DML. Right? So how it will look like? This way. So let's say you are targeting insurance industry. So in insurance industry, what we do, like we have guided path. First, we have to select particular insurance policy. Then in second step, what we do, we provide our personal information. Then in next step, we provide our payment information, and then confirmation like you have bought the policy. So this kind of guided path you can create through OmniScript, right? No coding, just drag and drop and point and click tools. If I go back, so last line you can read, they are built on Salesforce LWC. So whenever you are creating Flex Card or OmniScript, so automatically in the backend, Lightning Web component will be created automatically, right? And even if you have created any Lightning Web component, if you want to use it into your OmniScript, so that is also possible, right? So you can reuse existing build functionalities, and you can build new functionalities as well. So this is our first layer. Second is service management layer. So if we talk about this layer, so we have two tools, Data Raptor. So Data Raptor is for retrieving, updating and transforming data. So you can think about SOQL and DML. Now you don't need to write any query, you don't need to write any DML statements, right? So implement implement Data Raptor, and you can reuse it anywhere in any IP integration procedure, right? And second is integration procedure, so declarative server-side process that executes multiple actions in a single server call. So many operations, many business logics you can perform together, right? So this is a diagram which will help you to understand the feature. So we have Salesforce. Salesforce Cloud says like we have some data. Then API where some data can exist. Then we have anything that Apex can access. Right? Through access, if you are getting some data, so data can be available at any place. That data will be retrieved through different actions of IP. Right? So in IP we have HTTP action, we have remote action, we have data raptor action. So for fetching the data. So through these actions we are having the data with IP. Right? So this is one way, like querying the data, and that data will be available with IP, and IP will be passing that on to your Flex Cards and OmniScripts. Right? Now other way, if you are getting some data through flex cards or OmniScripts, so it will be available with IP, and now you will be performing DML operations. Right? If you are getting some data from user, so you need to store it somewhere. So it can be Salesforce, it can be API, or maybe you are sending some email. So all these operations you can perform through IPs. Right? You don't need to write any code. But still, if you need to write some code, you can call Apex classes as well through this tool, OmniStudio. Right? Then now see this table. Like how easily, like if we compare Flow and Apex, so Flow is easy to use and fast to implement the solution. Now here if you compare Apex and OmniStudio, so if you have easy task, so Apex will take 2 hours and through OmniStudio you can build it in 30 minutes. No test classes, right? And simply deployment. In Apex you will be implementing test class, lots of errors will be there due to deployment, test classes are failing. But here, like, it is as simple as that. And difficult task, if Apex is taking 6 weeks, in 1 day through OmniStudio you can do it. Right? So it is powerful. If you are targeting industry-specific clouds, then surely you need to learn this tool. And last one is development layer. It is totally related to deployment. So we have Workbench, which is desktop application, and build tool, which is command line tool. So again, pre-configured tools. You just need to implement anything like data raptor, IP, OmniScript, or FlexCard, and then you can deploy it from one environment to another environment. Right? Everything through point and click or maybe drag and drop. And this is the holistic diagram. So here we have in first layer we have FlexCards or guided screens, which will be created through OmniScripts. Right? Then in between you will be having IPs, integration procedures for business logic, and at the bottom you will be having some data that you can get or store through data raptors. So this way, like you will be getting a business requirement, and through this tool you will be able to solve it. So those who are struggling with Apex, it is good for you. And industry clouds are so popular nowadays. There is lots of demand for velocity developers. If you know OmniStudio, you will be hired like those who are having knowledge of Apex and flows. And if you are having knowledge of OmniStudio, you will be preferred candidate for those. Right? So this is all from my side. If you have any question, yes.
So basically, Flow, in Flow, there is a new feature Salesforce have introduced that you have to create a test class in Flow as well.
No, that is not for test class. That is for testing whatever you have built. So that is for testing purpose. If you don't implement that, nothing will happen.
So at the time of deployment, with that particular flow, do we have to attach that?
No, that is optional right now.
Okay. And in OmniStudio, there is no test class required?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yes?
Is there any limitations to use of OmniStudio?
Yeah, so limitation I would say, like if you have complex business requirement that you won't be able to implement through IP, then you will be needing Apex. Very complex requirement, like multiple loops are there. So in drag and drop, like if you have implement flows and if you have 2-3 loops, then it is very difficult to manage. So then we go for Apex. Otherwise, everything you can do.
So is there any capability comparison between Apex and AI and OmniStudio? That is, and is there any resource?
Yeah, so like you need to search. Right now, what I can say, like on Trailhead, you can find resources. Like I'm learning from there, and you can find some product documentation as well. And I'm planning to have some content on my channel, so soon you will hear. So I will be creating some content, will be doing certifications, so that you can say like if I am able to do that certification, through that content you can also.
So you will be able to see the OmniStudio content on your channel as well, right?
Yeah, so within next 2 months, like it will be available for whole world. So both recorded and live. Live I will be doing with my colleague Abhishek. Right. So what I am doing, I am building a community. Whoever is expert, I am bringing them on my channel so that they can also share their knowledge. So that I am doing, and totally free of cost, no charge. Yeah. Yeah, that is also. Choice is yours.
OmniStudio, when we are using, it is generating LWC behind the curtain, right? Is there any way we can take that LWC and edit that, or it won't be possible?
We can take that LWC and
Edit it ourselves offline, like in Visual Studio Code or something.
yeah, you can.
It is possible, or
I have never done this as of now, because if it is created through point and click and LWC is created automatically, so right now I have not explored that feature. But maybe if LWC component is created, then surely we will be able to. But I need to figure it out.
yeah, so the question relies around will we be able to pull that, retrieve that source? Of
Yes,
the
yeah,
LWC
that is
into the
possible.
Visual
That is
Studio,
possible.
right?
That is possible.
Thank you.
The component will get created temporarily or it will get
Permanent, it will be possible. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the OmniStudio